Here's number 9. Pardon my typo. Originally I had that and I had to cut and paste it, and this is the copy that I have. So there we go. Yours says the correct thing, mine does not. Sequence is shown below, and how many terms of the sequence must be added together for the sum to equal 3,280. Now, there is a clumsy way of going about this, and then there's an elegant way, and either way gets you to the same answer. So you're probably thinking, well, how about let's just go with the clumsy way and get there. No, let's not, because I want to reinforce some other ideas while we're here. So how many terms of the sequence must be added? We're dealing with the sum of a sequence. Well, what kind of sequence is it? Are we adding the same thing every time, or are we multiplying by the same thing every time? Let's see. How do you turn a 1 into a 3? You can multiply by 3. Does it work here to go from 3 to 9? Yes. This is, sure enough, geometric. And r is clearly 3. We're multiplying by 3 every time, which is why we're adding an exponent. Okay, so how many terms of the sequence must be added together? So it's really saying, let me rephrase this, what n will give a sum equal to 3,280. S sub n, what's that? It's a formula. It's the sum of so many numbers, so many terms in a sequence. And this is geometric, so we're going to use that formula. And it's this right here, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. We'll put that in parentheses just for fun. Okay? Let's start filling some numbers in. S sub n, well, it's, 3,280. 3,280 equals 1 minus r, 1 minus 3. A sub 1, first term is 1. 1 minus 3 to the n, that is not negative 2 to the n. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. This 3 has the n. That 1 does not. Okay? We can't, this guy has an exponent, that one doesn't. They're not alike at all. Don't even try to put them together. Okay, let's go ahead and go for a couple obvious things. That 1 is somewhat irrelevant because we're multiplying, so we have 1 minus 3 to the n here. We have a negative 2 down here, 3,280 here. We are solving for n. We want to know what the n value is, so let's keep going. We multiply by 2, we wind up with negative 6,560, and that is equal to 1 minus 3 to the n. Continuing to find n, we will subtract 1. Negative 6561 equals negative 3 to the n. Okay? Now I just about went logarithmic here, but there's a subtle difference. This is not negative 3 to the n, it's negative 3 to the n. Let me clarify what I just said. This is 3 to the n, and then we change the sign. Okay? This is not negative 3 to the n power. There is a difference because that negative, that subtraction was built into the formula. So what we can really do here is divide 3 to the n. And now at this point, I'm going to write the step that I always write just so we can visualize it. But if we do this, then it should become obvious what to do. And no, it's not divide by 3 because it's going to involve a logarithm. Log base 3 of 6561 is equal to n. Okay? We grab a calculator and we type it in. So, log 6561 divided by the log of 3. There we go. The answer is 8. And sure enough, the answer should be 8. Now, how do you know it works? Let's find out. Let's find out, okay? Let's do it. Let's add together the first 8 terms. Oops, drop my calculator. It's all good. Let's do it just to make sure. And this is the brute force method that you could have used. And when I show you this, you're probably going to say, then why did you show us the other stuff? Because I wanted you to see this one more time, because you're probably going to need this more than once on your exam, okay? And I want you to become familiar with this formula and its use. I mean, here's the brute force method. That's the sum of the first one term. That was dull. We just added the second term. That's the first 2 terms. Added the first 3. First 4 terms. 5 terms. It's getting a little tricky because when I say 5 terms, I type 3 to the 4th. Okay, it's always one less. You got to notice the pattern. If it helps, you may want to write out a bunch of them, just because. We just added 5 terms, 6 terms, 7 terms, 8 terms. Got it. Okay? You could have done it that way. You could have just kept adding 1 over and over and over. But again, the tricky part is knowing the exponent is 1 less and just kind of keeping track with that in your mind. There it was. Answer C.